Kevin here from Toying Around here at New York Comic Con, and we're here to talk with Brian Volk-weiss from Nacelle Company.
Hello. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
It's really cool, all the stuff that you're doing out there, and thank you for taking a few minutes to talk about the toys that you have going on and everything else from the company. Can we start with Biker Mice?
Let's do it.
It's a classic, and a lot of fans for it. What's the reception been for the figures that you've shown and since the announcement?
Here's the best way I can answer that question. The initial amount that we were going to produce, we have had to double it 4 times. Yeah, 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and we were pretty big to begin with, so we weren't being conservative, and we keep selling out, and then we have to keep upping the order. So they ship here from China in mid-November.
Right.
And let's say we were going to make, these are fake numbers, but let's say we were going to make 100 figures.
Yeah.
We're now making 500 figures. Like, that's how many more. The bikes, we sold enough of the bikes in a week to be profitable, so we have quadrupled the amount of bikes we're making.
That's incredible. It's kind of not surprising, too, because when you talk a lot about older cartoons and toy lines, there's always a voice saying, where's Biker Mice, or where's Street Sharks, or something like that. So when you hear that often, and then someone who's able to make it, that kind of feedback, it's got to be a good feeling, and it's not that surprising.
Well, it is and it isn't surprising. It's not surprising because I've always loved Biker Mice, and I'm not surprised because it's. Let me give you, because I understand that might sound crazy. Here's the weird part about my job. Part of me is a very emotional. I feel like I stopped growing mentally at 27,
okay.
But I'm kind of like that 15-year-old in my soul, right? But then there's the CEO part of my job, where I got to do business stuff and make sure I'm not spending more money than I'm making.
Right.
So the little guy in me that's between 15 and 27, he is not surprised at all. In fact, that guy probably is shocked we haven't sold 20 million figures. But then there's the CEO part of my brain that it's always surprising when you're successful. I've been doing this 25 years, from making TV shows and doing other things. You never, ever, ever know what's going to work. If you had told me the day before Toys That Made Us came out that it would be a success, I would have been I don't know. I've done stuff in my career where I'm this is it. This is going to put me on the cover of Time magazine. Woo! And nobody cares, and it doesn't work. Then you do something that's a passion project, hobby, and all of a sudden, the phone won't stop ringing. So, you never know. So that part of my brain is very surprised. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Okay.
And then you got to keep making stuff just to see, you got to make it in order to see how it's received.
Yeah.
And how successful or not successful, or at the very least, the experience of yourself making it, right?
Right. And then, we do another toy line. I'm not going to say what it is. I've learned the hard way not to do that. But we have another toy line that we announced, and it didn't do that well. We still went ahead into production, even though I knew we were in the red pretty bad. And every day, we're selling 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, and then after 3 or 4 months, I look at a spreadsheet and I'm oh, this wasn't a smash hit,
Right.
but it's a slow hit.
Right.
So that line will be profitable. It'll just take 6 months instead of 6 days.
Right.
So that's what I mean. You never know.
Well, I feel when some new things are announced, and there's always a group that's oh, who asked for this, and who wants that? It's maybe it's not for you, but in that example, there is a fan base out there. It might not just be the loudest or the fastest responding that shows up.
But you're 100% right. But on top of that, sometimes it just takes time. So that line I was just talking about, there was a website that was really obsessed with one of our figures, but not the figure, the person it was based on.
Okay.
So it took them about a month to find out that we had made these toys. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe this exists.
Yeah.
And that's when we started getting sales every day, but it took months for that to happen. Whereas Biker Mice, because there was so much pent-up demand, it was like every day. And then, like I said, in 6 days, we paid for the cost to make the bikes. So then we made more.
Hey, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. It's
I
crazy.
think it's commendable that from when you first showed I guess prototypes or renders, there's a lot of fan feedback, and you were able to be open to that and kind of work that into modification before it came
anybody
out.
like because again I don't know, like I'm a toy collector. So I've only been making toys for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not even been 2 years. It's been like 19 months. So 99% of my experience with toys has been as a buyer. So whenever I would see companies announce something and be like, well, this is how it is, I'm always like, why? Right. That's your customer. If you listen to your customer, you could sell more. So, yeah, everybody keeps saying, Brian, it's so good you listen to the fans. And I'm always like, why wouldn't I? I want to sell as many as possible.
Yeah, but that's super cool, and congratulations on that. I know I've heard there is a Nacelle-Verse where your properties, personally, as a fan of crossovers, I think that's a really cool opportunity that you guys have to do something like that. Can you talk to the people a little bit more about how that works and what kind of stuff they can expect? Because I know you recently had an announcement, I think either this week or last week, with something from the Nacelle-Verse.
So what we're doing is we have been buying copyrights and IPs. So we'll see. I always forget one. Let's see if I could do this. It's like something wrong with my brain. I've always had this. RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, Garloo, Sectors, Power Lords, and RoboForce. See, I always forget one. Who am I forgetting? Sectors, Garloo, RoboForce. I'm always forgetting one. It's 6.
We can do reshoots afterwards
6.
and cut it together.
Yeah. We'll do reshoot. So what we've done is we have taken these 6 IPs and we've merged them into a united universe. So we have RoboForce as a 6-episode cartoon that we're in production on right now, but every episode of RoboForce has at least one character. Oh, Moo Mesa.
There it is.
Moo Mesa. All right, we'll do a reshoot. Here we go. All right, so here's the 6. We got, all right, here's the 6. Take 9. We got RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, Garloo, Power Lords, Sectors, and Moo Mesa. Cowboys and Moo Mesa. So every episode of RoboForce has, look, it's Indiana Jones, has cameos from those characters. One of the most emotionally important scenes in the whole season of RoboForce involves Biker Mice from Mars. So the opening of the first episode, you're basically hearing the voice of a character from a line that's barely in the show. So that's in production now, but we just did a deal with Ryan Reynolds for Biker Mice from Mars, and we are doing an 8-episode season of Biker Mice from Mars. So Biker Mice from Mars, that's going to be the 2nd season of the Nacelle-Verse, and we're setting up stuff for the Biker Mice from Mars show in RoboForce. And then, as of now, Moo Mesa should be coming after Biker Mice. But the idea is that every year we're going to put out a cartoon and a toy line. And then we just announced a deal with Oni Publishing, the comic book company.
Right.
So they're doing 3 issues per season that sets up that season.
You mentioned earlier the Toys That Made Us. Really fantastic series. Watched it. I'm sure a lot of people watching right now. Richie behind the camera with some nose ring.
Again.
Watch it again. Keep watching. You don't have to stop.
Never stop.
it's really cool to see more toy content that way out on like a mainstream platform. So when we see something like that, it's try to support it. Everyone should try to support it. It's just great to see, and hopefully there's more things like that. But in terms of production on video, I found out recently that is it you or the company produced like Jimmy O Yang's Prime series?
Yeah.
I love.
No. We didn't produce the series. We produced his 2 stand-up specials.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, huge fan of his. I watched a lot of stand-up comedy growing up. See a Chinese stand-up comic just blows my mind.
Ali Wong.
Yes, that's
we
right.
did Baby Cobra, and we did Hard Knock Wife. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So we started off in stand-up comedy. A lot of people are always like, why did I see your name on a stand-up special? And I always laugh because, like, that's my bread and butter. Like, this is all, like, this is fun. Like, and I'm not saying making stand-up specials is not fun. It's a lot of fun. Don't get mad at me, comedians. But my point is, this is new.
Right.
Like, we've produced over 250 stand-up specials starting over 10 years ago. Okay. So whenever people are like, why did I see your name on a Jim Gaffigan special? I'm like, no, the weird thing is, why did you see my name on a show about toys?
Right.
That's the weird part.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we did Ali's first special, Jimmy O Yang's. If you haven't seen Helen Hong, she's phenomenal, Korean. But yeah, no, we do a lot of stand-up comedy.
That's incredible. And I know you have a line of action figures of comedians.
Yes.
Right? That you're able to kind of fold in together.
Legends of Laughter.
Legends of Laughter, yeah. It's cool. It's just amazing to see a company that can work in all those different types of mediums. So that's why when I had a chance to interview you for this, I'm like I gotta go do it. I missed Toy Fair. I didn't know Toy Fair was a thing that I could do press for, but this one here, you're here. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, Toy Fair is a different game because it's you can't buy anything, you can't get anything. So it's always kind of weird because you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm seeing this, and they're like, isn't it great?
Yeah.
You can buy it in 18 months.
Isn't it great?
And I'm like,
pull the curtain down.
Yeah.
And you're
so
trying
I like this more.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I like it. Here's my credit card. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. What do you want to tell people? Where should people be going right now? Biker Mice, what do you want to tell people?
I'm on Instagram under my name, Brian Volk-weiss. The Nacelle Company is there, and then Toys Nacelle. That's our big Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. Toys Nacelle.
Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us,
One more time.
and congrats on everything.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Peace.